Greetings! This is the Mad Hermit with you once again for another reading installment. Today we're going to be reading another non-poetry work, this time by the author C.S. Lewis. And this is an excerpt from his work, The Great Divorce, which is, again, available at all major bookstores, Borders, Barnes & Nobles, and Amazon.com. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this work, what it is basically an allegorical tale that explores the various concepts of heaven and hell through the use of metaphor and symbolism. And the passage we're going to be reading is on the subject of lust, namely an allegorical portrayal of a one-man struggle with lust and eventual overcoming of it. So before we go any further, I am going to read the excerpt. Again, this is from C.S. Lewis's The Great Divorce. I saw coming towards us a ghost who carried something on his shoulder. Like all ghosts, he was unsubstantial, but they differed from one another as smokes differ. Some had been whitish, this one was dark and oily. What sat on his shoulder was a little red lizard, and it was twitching its tail like a whip and whispering things in his ear. As we caught sight of him, he turned his head to the reptile with a snarl of impatience. "Shut up, I tell you," he said. It wagged its tail and continued to whisper to him. He ceased snarling and presently began to smile. Then he turned and started to limp westward away from the mountains. "Off so soon?" said a voice. The speaker was more or less human in shape, but larger than a man, and so bright that I could hardly look at him. His presence smote on my eyes, and on my body too, for there was heat coming from him as well as light, like the morning sun at the beginning of a tyrannous summer day. "Yes, I'm off," said the ghost. "Thanks for all your hospitality, but it's no good, you see. I told this little chap," here he indicated the lizard, "that he'd have to be quiet if he came, which he insisted on doing. Of course his stuff won't do here, I realize that, but he won't stop. I shall just have to go home." "Would you like me to make him quiet?" said the flaming spirit, an angel, as I soon understood. "Of course I would," said the ghost. "Then I will kill him," said the angel, taking a step forward. Look out! You're burning me! Keep away!" said the ghost, retreating. "Don't you want him killed?" "You didn't say anything about killing him at first. I hardly meant to bother you with anything so drastic as that." "It's the only way," said the angel, whose burning hands were now very close to the lizard. "Shall I kill it?" "Well, that's a further question. I'm quite open to consider it, but it's a new point, isn't it? I mean, the moment I was only thinking about silencing it, because up here, well, it's so damn embarrassing." "May I kill it?" "Well, there's time to discuss that later." "There is no time. May I kill it?" "Please, I never meant to be such a nuisance. Please, really, don't bother. Look, it's gone to sleep on its own accord. I'm sure it'll all be all right now. Thanks ever so much." "May I kill it?" "Honestly, I don't think there's a slightest necessity for that. I'm sure I shall be able to keep it in order now. I think the gradual process would be far better than killing it." "The gradual process is of no use at all." "Don't you think so? Well, I'll think it over what you've said very carefully. I honestly will. In fact, I'd let you kill it now, but as a matter of fact, I'm not feeling frightfully well today. It would be most silly to do it now. I need to be in good health for the operation. Some other day, perhaps." "There is no other day. All days are present now." "Get back! You're burning me! How can I tell you to kill it? You'd kill me too if you did." "It is not so." "Why, you're hurting me now." "I never said it wouldn't hurt. I said it wouldn't kill you." "Oh, I know. You think I'm a coward." "But it isn't that. Really, it isn't. I say, let me run back by tonight's bus and get an opinion from my own doctor. I'll come again the first moment I can." "The moment contains all moments. This moment." "Why are you torturing me? You're jeering at me. How can I let you tear me to pieces? If you wanted to help me, why didn't you kill the damn thing without asking me, before I knew? It would be all over by now if you had." "I cannot kill it against your will." "It is impossible." "Have I your permission?" The angel's hands were almost closed on the lizard, but not quite. Then the lizard began chattering to the ghost so loud that even I could hear what it was saying. "Be careful," it said. "He can do what he says. He can kill me. One fatal word from you and he will. Then you'll be without me forever and ever. It's not natural. How could you live? You'd only be a sort of ghost, not a real man as you are now. He doesn't understand. He's only a cold, bloodless, abstract thing. It may be natural for him, but it isn't for us. Yes, yes. I know there are no real pleasures now, only dreams. But aren't they better than nothing? And they'll be so good. I admit I've sometimes gone too far in the past, but I promise I won't do it ever again. I'll give you nothing but really nice dreams, all sweet and fresh and almost innocent. You might say quite innocent. Have I your permission, said the angel to the ghost. I know it will kill me. It won't, but supposing it did. You're right, it would be better to be dead than to live with this creature. Then I may? Damn and blast you, go on, can't you? Get over. Do what you like, bellowed the ghost, but ended whimpering, God help me, God help me. Next moment the ghost gave a scream of agony, such as I never heard on earth. The burning one closed his crimson grip on the reptile, twisted it while it bit and writhed, and then flung it broken-backed on the turf. Ow, that's done for me, gasped the ghost, reeling backwards. For a moment I could make out nothing distinctly. Then I saw between me and the nearest bush, unmistakably solid, but growing every moment solider, the upper arm and the shoulder of a man. Then brighter still and stronger the legs and hands. The neck and golden head materialized while I watched, and if my attention had not wavered, I should have seen the actual completing of a man, an immense man, naked, not much smaller than the angel. What distracted me was the fact that at the same moment something seemed to be happening to the lizard. At first I thought the operation had failed. So far from dying, the creature was still struggling and even growing bigger as it struggled. The tail still flickered, and as it grew, it changed. Its hinder parts grew rounder. The tail, still flickering, became a tail of hair that flickered between huge and glossy buttocks. Suddenly I started back, rubbing my eyes. What stood before me was the grayest stallion I have ever seen, silvery white, but with mane and tail of gold. It was smooth and shining, rippled with swells of flesh and muscle, winnowing and stamping with its hooves. At each stamp the land shook and the trees dindled. The new man turned and clapped the new horse's neck. It nosed his bright body. Horse and master breathed each into the other's nostrils. The man turned from it, flung himself at the feet of the burning one, and embraced them. When he rose, I thought his face shone with tears, but it may have been only the liquid love and brightness, one cannot distinguish them in that country, which flowed from him. I had not long to think about it. In joyous haste the young man leapt upon the horse's back. Turning in his seat, he waved a farewell, then nudged the stallion with his heels. They were off before I knew well what was happening. This has been a reading of C.S. Lewis's The Great Divorce. Again, it is available at all major bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Borders, and Amazon.com. And for all you who heard, feel free to comment whatever you please. And this has been The Mad Hermit, and I am signing out. Happy reading.